Hey, today I'm going to share our experience with Math with Confidence first grade and Math UC Alpha. There were a few math curricula that I was deciding among, but ultimately I went with Math with Confidence to be our main curriculum choice for the year for math. I like that it is a spiral approach where we're covering the same things, we're coming back to it and adding to it as we go, as opposed to mastery where you master something and you move on to the next thing and go and go and go without so much of that circling back component. The book is divided into units and each unit has 3 weeks of lessons. The units are numbers to 10, addition to 10, shapes, subtraction to 10, numbers to 20, numbers to 100, length, addition facts to 20, time and money, subtraction facts in the teens, and mental math with 2-digit numbers. Each week has 4 main lessons that have a teacher component and then the student portion in their workbook. And then there's also one enrichment day where there are optional activities and book suggestions. The instructor guide is pretty much scripted and open and go. So it tells you exactly what you need to say to your student. There's a little bit of prep for some of the lessons to get the materials ready, and then it just tells you what to say and you go right through. Math is not my particular area of expertise, so even though I do know first grade math, I like having the scripted lesson. This is a workbook and I really love how it's done. The pages are colorful, they're interesting, and every day you only have a front and a back to do, and there's never more than that. And because it does that spiral method where we're coming back to things, there's lots of different sections in each thing. You're not doing the same thing for the front of the page and the whole back of the page. It's split up. So we've got skip counting, patterns, counting, change. There are games incorporated for a lot of the lessons, which my son really liked. Most of the lessons include this tens frame, and there's a printable one that you can use with the book. I went ahead and ordered a wooden one so we could put pieces in it. And that's sort of how the 10 is explained. So you can visually see 5 on this side, 5 on this side. And then the other thing that I thought was helpful, this wasn't included in the book, but it helped us a lot with it. It's called a reckon rack. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's just got the beads that you can slide across, and then there's 10 on the top, 10 on the bottom. So we ended up using this a lot. Through no fault of the program, when we got to these number diagrams, my son was getting really lost. He was confused, he was not understanding the relationship among the 3 numbers, and he started to not like math. So we paused this curriculum, and we started with Math UC Alpha. This program is completely different from Math with Confidence. Math UC is a mastery program, so we are just moving on lesson after lesson, progressing forward, but it does include some of the review in the worksheets. So the Alpha program is single digit addition and subtraction, and that's really all the whole program is. There are 30 lessons, and each lesson has multiple worksheets, and you can do as many as you feel like you need to before moving on to the next lesson. It is not a day by day, here's what to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. So the names of the lessons are like subtraction, -1, -0. Next lesson, subtraction, -2. The next lesson, subtraction, -9. So you're really just going through all of the addition and subtraction facts for single digits and learning them in logical groups so they stick in your mind. I went with this program because it really does slow down those skills, and while he wasn't grasping the concept using this kind of thing, I thought that with their manipulatives, the Math UC manipulatives, it might click in his brain a little bit better. So you've got the plates that have the 100 squares on them, and then there are the smaller ones which have different colors depending on the number. So like the 10 is a different color from the 9 and the 8 and the 7. So here's how it's helpful. Let's say we're trying to figure out 10 minus 6, okay? So we've got 10 here, and then we can take our 6 piece and we can attach it, cover it up, and now we can see that we had 10, here's the 6, and now how many do we have left over? And you can fit the 4 there. So it becomes really concrete. You can see how these numbers relate to each other. This plus this equals this, this minus this equals that, this minus that equals that. And this really seemed to make a lot of sense to him. The workbook does not look like the Math with Confidence workbook. It is black and white, fill in the blanks, adding and subtracting. Alpha also comes with this book of tests, which we did, but I didn't give them in like a test format. We just acted like they were worksheets, but it was a nice way to know if he was really understanding the content. We went through Alpha pretty quickly, and my son built up those skills and got really good with his addition facts. And so when we got through the last test of Alpha, Now we're going back and finishing Math with Confidence. And now that he's really confident with these addition facts from the Alpha program, he loves Math with Confidence. It's all making sense to him now. Now this workbook feels like more fun to him. He's eager to do his math. He's excited that there are different things. When there's addition and subtraction, it's just a little bit. It's a lot less than he was doing with Alpha. So we're this much through Math with Confidence, and we have this much to go. And I think we'll be able to do it this summer with just doing a page a day. My plan for next year for him is to do both programs again. I'm planning to do the same thing with my other son who will be in kindergarten next year, so I got the primer book, which I have not used before. The Math You See videos are ridiculous. Do not plan to rely on those for teaching your kid math. Overall, they're both really great programs. If you can only pick one, I would go with Math with Confidence first grade because it covers a lot more subjects and it's a lot more engaging. It has more games, book suggestions, the colors, more hands-on activities. I think that Alpha is a really great supplement to a more robust curriculum. If I only had Alpha to teach with, I would supplement it with a lot of games and activities outside of this curriculum. Looking ahead to Beta, it looks like it does fill in some of the topics that are covered in Math with Confidence, so I'm sure if you stuck with this, your bases would all be covered eventually. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any experience with these curricula or other math curricula that you can recommend for first grade.